Terry, I was looking up some numbers. The last 12 games for Dame has seen a drop-off that I'm sure you're aware of statistically. Can you pinpoint a cause to that, and was that part of the change of what you did in the game against Boston?
Yes, it was. Primarily the Clipper game and the Miami game, where both teams were very aggressive on their pick and roll defense. So we really emphasized more screening, more movement, more passing, and that was very encouraging against Boston. But the fact is, we've always been a pick and roll team. We've had a lot of success with pick and roll, but we got to have something to fall back on when teams are super aggressive on those.
Nick Krupke, KPTV.
Terry, from coaching LaMarcus to coaching against him, what kind of a player was he for you and to work against, and where do you think that his career will go down in the all-time NBA lore for Blake?
Well, first of all, I wish LaMarcus all the best in his retirement. He's had a remarkable career, and I don't know how many, 5, 6, 7 All-Star appearances. He was part of winning teams in Portland and in San Antonio. He was, my second and third year, we overachieved primarily because of him and what he brought to the table. Obviously, we had a good team. That starting unit those 2 years really worked well together, but he was my first 3 years. He was the foundation, and Dame was a young player, and we relied on LaMarcus a lot. As far as where he falls, I think he's a top 5 all time with the Blazers. Depends on your criteria. Obviously, Dame and Clyde are up there, but after that, I think he's a top 5 Blazer, all time Blazer.
Amy Hudson, NBC Sports Northwest.
Coach, going back to the Miami game, what do you hope to take from that game and continue to build on?
Which game?
The Boston game after the Miami game. My
bad. Really, like I said earlier, the offense was very encouraging. Our ball movement was much better. Our spacing, our cutting, our screening, all of those were much better. We emphasized that going into the game, particularly after the Miami game. So if we can build on that, Boston's over the last month or so is a top 10 defensive team who's on a roll, and we played pretty good offense against a pretty good defensive team.
And then
sorry, Jamie, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Jacob. As far as Nurk's minutes, he played over 25. So do you see it increasing, or do you have an idea of Nurk's minutes?
I don't right now. Obviously, it was encouraging that he played 26, and he was pretty effective in those minutes. But H&P department, Jess Ellis will let me know tomorrow what the plan is for him.
Christos, go ahead.
Okay. Hello, Coach. Hope you're doing well.
Thank you.
You are less than 20 games until the end of the regular season. Did you see Did you see the standings right now about your position in Western Conference, and what would you like to change about your approach on the game?
No, I haven't seen the standings, so no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, we know where we are. We know where the league is. We know Dallas right behind us, and Luka Doncic hit an amazing shot. So yeah, we keep up with where we are and where everybody else is. Our biggest thing is worrying about each game. San Antonio, we got 2 games on the road. We got to get San Antonio. We know we have a tough schedule the last 18 games, but we can't look too far ahead. So we're pleased with what we did against Boston, even though we lost. We got to keep that momentum as far as style of play going into this road trip.
Casey Holdall, Trailblazers.com.
Very kind of along those lines, there's been some discussion in the past week about the play-in, so I'm curious, what do you think about the play-in approach this year? Obviously, as someone who participated in it last year, and just your general thoughts on that structure and the changes they made.
Well, last year I thought in the bubble it made a lot of sense because it was a shortened season. It was an uneven schedule. Teams had played different amounts of games, and there needed to be a system that was somewhat equitable for everybody to have a chance to make the playoffs. So I think the bubble, the play-in made sense. I think this year I think it's tough sell to play 72. It's almost like baseball. You know, you play 162 in baseball, and then you play one game to see the wild card to get in. That's so I think this kind of falls in that same category. I know it creates interest for the league. It keeps interest throughout the regular season. It keeps teams that are 10, 11, 12 still engaged in their regular season. At the same time, you work 72 or 82 games to make the playoffs, and then you could be out in 2 games. I think that's a little tough. The format itself, if you're going to have a play-in, I think the format makes sense. You know, the 7 and 8 have to win just 1 game, 9 and 10 have to win 2. So that at least makes sense if you're going to have a play-in.
And I would assume that it's a motivating factor to not be in the play-in. I mean, obviously you always want to win, but I would imagine you'd rather avoid that.
Yeah, if you can get some games off, days off before the playoffs start, if you can look, we're all in the same boat. I've seen the quotes from Dallas, and you know they're feeling the same way probably as we are. We're looking at 5, 6, 7, 8, and nobody wants to be in 7 and 8. So that's kind of the reality of the situation.
Thanks, Terry.